Welcome back. First reactions coming in from Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He has put out a message just seconds before now saying Home Minister Amit Shah's speech in the Rajya Sabha was extensive and insightful. It accurately highlighted the monumental injustices of the past and coherently presented our vision for the sisters and brothers of Jammu and Kashmir. This is the first we are hearing from the man who led the Bharatiya Janata Party to a historic victory which made this big decision in Parliament possible. Let's get you at the top all the political reactions to the day when 7 decades of politics in Kashmir was literally turned on its head.
राष्ट्रपति द्वारा भारत के संविधान अनुच्छेद 3 के अंतर्गत जम्मू और कश्मीर पुनर्गठन विधेयक 2019 को सदन के सम्मुख विचार के लिए संरक्षित करने पर जम्मू कश्मीर पुनर्गठन विधेयक 19 को स्वीकार करने का विचार।
Modi government unveiling its Naya Kashmir, scrapping the contentious Article 370, which gave special status to Jammu and Kashmir.
370 हटाने में 1 सेकंड भी देरी नहीं करनी चाहिए।
As soon as Home Minister Amit Shah announced this historic move in the Rajya Sabha, opposition Congress, NC and PDP were up in arms. Valley-based parties were livid, calling it a betrayal of trust and darkest day in democracy, warning of catastrophic consequences for India. PDP members even tore their clothes and staged a sit-in protest.
आज 5 अगस्त हिंदुस्तान की जमहूरियत का सबसे काला तरीन दिन है, जब यहाँ की पार्लियामेंट में चोरों की तरह जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों से वो सब कुछ छीन लिया गया जो उन्हें इसी पार्लियामेंट ने दिया था। हिंदुस्तान के साथ हमारा इलाक़ एक बाइज्जत मुआहदा था, जिसको आज खुद ही मरकजी सरकार ने इसराइल की तरह एक नाजायज कब्जे में बदल दिया।
ये सरकार जुल्म जाती करके हाउस में इन्होंने इससे पहले भी कुछ बिल्स पास किए और आज भी ये जो तानाशाही चला रहे हैं।
Congress was left red-faced when its chief whip in Rajya Sabha, Bhuvaneshwar Kalita, refused to issue a whip to party MPs to oppose abrogation of Article 370. He later quit the party, calling Congress' move a political suicide. But Congress joined forces with NC and PDP to slam the Modi government.
NDA गवर्नमेंट यहां तक जाएगी कि जम्मू कश्मीर स्टेट का नामो निशान खत्म कर देगी, जम्मू कश्मीर स्टेट की एग्जिस्टेंस खत्म कर देगी, इस तरह से स्टेट को डिवाइड करके
கண்டிக்கத்தக்கது இது ஜனநாயகத்திற்கு விரோதமாக அமைந்திருக்கிறது.
NDA ally JDU to oppose the scrapping of Article 370.
हमारी पार्टी आज लोकसभा में राज्यसभा में पेश किए गए इस बिल को समर्थन नहीं देती है।
But the opposition rank was split down the middle, with the government finding surprise supporters in the form of BSP, TDP, AAP, YSRCP, TRS and even the BJD.
हम चाहते हैं कि ये बिल पास होना चाहिए और 370 पे और उस पे जो दूसरा बिल है उसमें हमारी पार्टी कोई विरोध नहीं कर रही।
BJP's ally Shiv Sena and AIADMK celebrated the historic move.
हा खरंच एक ऐतिहासिक दिवस आहे आणि ते आज पूर्ण झालेलं आहे। मी अत्यंत मनापासून आपले पंतप्रधान, आपले गृहमंत्री नरेंद्र भाई, अमित भाई यांचं अभिनंदन करतो।
The government is now banking on the big split in opposition ranks to weather the storm over scrapping of Article 370. With Paulami Saha, Mausami Singh and Kamaljeet Sandhu, Bureau Report, India Today.
So the one question on everyone's mind, what happens next? That's what we'll focus on at this time. Joining us for perspective, Nalin Kohli, spokesperson for the Bharatiya Janata Party. We've got General Rakesh Sharma, who's been in the Indian Army. We've also got with us at this time Irfan Hafiz Loan. He's a lawyer and an activist. So welcome to all our guests. I want to go across to General Sharma first. As a military mind, when a decision of this magnitude is taken, would something like this have been war gamed? Would the army and the forces on the ground have thought through in their heads and in their strategies what may happen next? What do you think is likely, sir?
This has been part of BJP's agenda and manifesto for a very long time, which was stated across there. So whether it was forthcoming 5 years ago or it's come now, well, it was in the horizon, and it was always thought about it, things like this happen. And we are also, the armed forces have gone through various events like the death of Burhan Wani, and we knew what happens thereafter, or when the last time when there was stone throwing in 2009 and those issues. So we, the armed forces, are always prepared for a catastrophic event to take place. This is a historic event, and an historic event, obviously it was planned in a manner, that's why the induction of troops.
I'm just receiving word that after Mehbooba Mufti, now Omar Abdullah has also been taken into detention. Sujaul Haq joins us from Srinagar. First it was Mehbooba Mufti, now Omar Abdullah. They were under house arrest. Now they've been taken into detention. What are the specific charges? What are you hearing, Suja?
Well, Rahul, we've just gotten to know that both Omar Abdullah as well as Mehbooba Mufti have been taken into custody. We've been told that it is a detention. They've been shifted to, Mehbooba Mufti at least has been shifted to a nearby guest house, which is under the control of the police. Omar Abdullah, we don't really know as of now where he has been taken to, but yes, this is confirmed that both of them are in the custody of the police. Now, let's remember, both of them were under house arrest yesterday night. They were put under house arrest, and today it seems that the police has taken them under preventive custody. We don't exactly know the charges, but yes, a lot of preparations seem to be in the offing by the entire administration. We are seeing a lot of activity happening. It is all basically to make sure that all the developments that have taken place throughout the day, the impact of that is met with, and hoping that no untoward incident happens.
Okay, I want to go across to Dr. Samir Kaul of the National Conference. Omar Abdullah taken into custody, given the kind of tweets and the messages and Mehbooba's public audio recording. Clearly the government felt that it's best that they be under detention so they can keep a close eye on what these former chief ministers do. Dr. Kaul.
Well, if you feel that communication, which has been completely lacking, if you feel that communication that has been completely lacking in this whole affair so far is not important and actually creates problems, then this is another of those blunders that is being committed. What's the point of shutting off leaders from their people so that they can tell them all they have been messaging to their people? I don't know about Mehbooba, but I know about my party that all the messages that have come to people like us who are not in Kashmir is that please stay calm, please don't take law and order into your own hands, and we shall try and oppose it the legal and the constitutional way. And so why shut off such people?
Okay, questions being asked, Nalin Kohli, about the arrest of former chief ministers of Jammu and Kashmir. It is one thing to arrest the separatists and the terrorists. It's completely another to arrest leaders who've been chief ministers of the state of Jammu and Kashmir under the Indian Union.
Well, I think perhaps, Rahul, an easier way out would be to just juxtapose what Mr. Kaul has said with the kind of tweets and statements that have come from Omar ji and Mehbooba ji, and maybe you will have an answer at that. Those tweets seem to be anything, and those messages seem to be hardly anything about saying, let's calm down, we'll fight this in the proper way, we'll go before the court of law, let's not worry about it. They rather seem to be, this is the darkest day, Allah would protect us, things like that. So therefore, I just feel that your question would be answered better by just simply juxtaposing his statement with what actually they are saying, rather than asking me for an answer.
Okay, we've got information coming in that there's a massive outreach that's being carried out by the Ministry of External Affairs with top nations across the world, especially P5 nations in the United Nations Security Council, the Permanent Five. Geeta Mohan, our Foreign Affairs editor, joins us to tell us about the calls being made to the United States, the United Kingdom, Russia, France, and others. Geeta, what kind of a response have the Ministry of External Affairs officers been getting once they've been calling these world capitals and telling them about what India has done? Have the Ministry of External Affairs officers been getting once they've been calling?
Rahul, there have already been feelers that were sent out much earlier about maybe India looking at abrogation of or removing of 335A, and in that there were a lot of feelers that India had already got from the international community. Having said that, this is not particularly an outreach where India is trying to explain itself to the P5 and the other nations. What we've been told by our sources is that Foreign Secretary Gokhale briefed the P5 nations and other senior secretaries from various divisions, Secretary West, Secretary East, and important secretaries of ER as well as joint secretaries briefed various other countries and envoys of other countries. And the message over here, Rahul, is very clear that it's an internal matter of India, and India took this decision keeping in mind the situation in the country and in the state. So the messaging was not of trying to justify or explain oneself, but rather to say that it's an internal matter of India, but because it's a very important decision and because everybody was keen to know and understand what is really happening in India, the briefings took place. What we are also being told is that the response of most nations, almost all of them, Rahul, have been quite positive. They reacted to it very positively, given that India is looking at the security scenario and ensuring that the state of Jammu and Kashmir is secure. So very important messaging coming in from India.
Are we also leaning on world capitals, Geeta, to try and tell them to ensure that Pakistan doesn't try any misadventure on the back of what India has done, because that would be a concern? Some general in Rawalpindi trying to stoke some trouble. Are we telling countries like the United States to ensure Islamabad stays in line?
Absolutely, that's the messaging where we're talking about why India took the tough decision of abrogating Article 370 and the security scenario that lay in front of them in ensuring that these decisions are really taken. So yes, the messaging was also to ensure that Pakistan does not try any kind of misadventure, but more importantly, Rahul, we have to and we had to engage the capitals of various countries, also because we know that Pakistan is going to take this to the United Nations Security Council. The good thing is that in the recent past, every move by Pakistan at the UNSC has not yielded any results. UNSC did not take cognizance of any of the requests and proposals made by Pakistan in the recent past. But this is not a case of ceasefire violations that Pakistan will be taking to the United Nations Security Council. So while I was talking to people who are aware of the processes of the United Nations Security Council, they said in the past it has not happened, cognizance was not taken, but we do not know how the UNSC will react to this. But more
how do you see the most likely response from the generals in Rawalpindi? Will they try and stoke trouble, create another Uri or another Pulwama?
Look, I think the first anxiety in the minds of the politicians and the generals of Pakistan would be the month of October, when the FATF takes a final decision on black, grey or white lists. And it's just 2 months away. And anything major being stoked across by the Pakis will be immediately taken amiss. And they have been begging ball to all these places. So I think 2 months are very critical for them. And they would, I would appreciate, they would like October to pass safely. They get whatever they're supposed to get from the IMF and then start thinking of something different. The other part of the story is that as time passes, the snows would come in, and their possibility of taking any major action across will also
but the Pakistani army also thinks of Kashmir as a larger ideological agenda. So they could just react very violently. How should we try and stop that?
So Kashmir is also an identity issue for them, for the Pakistan army and for the nation. It's a binding, it's a glue that binds that nation among anti-Indianism. So they would also want this issue to be here, and if something happens, it would be much preferred that it is shown as indigenous in nature or internal issues happening within India and not been sponsored.
Irfan Hafiz Loan, you've seen the kind of widespread support the abrogation of 370 received in the floor of the House. 2/3 majority in the Rajya Sabha, even more in the Lok Sabha when that happens tomorrow. You know, this move by the Prime Minister and his party clearly has the backing of the vast majority.
See, Rahul, it may be an attainment for you. For us, it's the backstabbing, and it's not happening first time. We have seen in the past as well, and I believe this is really a last nail in the coffin. You must know that 1947, when we signed the instrument of accession, a letter was attached to it by the Governor General on behalf of the Government of India that no sooner normalcy returns in the valley, the will of the people will be ascertained. So later on, the other princely states who signed the instrument of accession, but later on they signed the supplementary instrument of accession. J&K state was the only state which didn't sign the supplementary accession. So what was agreed at a political level, be the instrument of accession or the instrument of accession, it was given a constitutional recognition by virtue of 370,
but
because 370, I'm concluding, because 370 says that the jurisdiction of Indian Parliament shall be limited to those subjects. It's written in the 370.
But it also says a temporary provision. 70 years ago we agreed it's a temporary provision.
Which are mentioned in the, specified in the instrument of accession. Temporary was because Panditji took it to the United Nations. Later on, governments, even today government's stand is that we won't go for a plebiscite because the Constituent Assembly of J&K ratified it. So, if the Constituent Assembly ratified, the same Parliament gave us this constitutional right.
Okay, so Nalin
today you
Kohli
committed
should
a
respond to the larger
fraud,
political
cheating.
charge that this is constitutional fraud, backstabbing, it's cheating, that the article says that if there is any abrogation or revocation, it requires the support of the Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir, which currently doesn't exist because the governor rules. Therefore, you've stabbed them and come in from the back door.
Assembly,
you made a point. Let Mr. Kohli respond to it. Nalin.
I think the gentleman who speaks his name is an engineer because he by profession is an engineer, not a lawyer. So can we at least refrain from, bringing legal illiteracy into a debate? After all, you yourself asked the correct question. It was a temporary provision. Someone who wasn't, none of us who was debating it, you, me or him, were born in before 1947 to even have had a view about what it is. What we know is in Parliament itself, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru accepted it's a temporary provision. Temporary provision for 65, 70 years is more than all of our ages. So therefore, I think let's recognize something. Some things are manufactured things somewhere in the heads of some people. What the Home Minister said is the relevant thing. Amit Shah made it very clear. In all these years, how has it served the people of Jammu and Kashmir? This is not about India. This is about the people of Jammu and Kashmir. How is it that there is an Aurangzeb who wants to join the army? He's killed by terrorists. His family members want to join the army and they join it. How is it that thousands of youth go out there and want to be part of the Indian army? They want to be part of the mainstream. Yet there is this
That's a very good point.
Group
Each
of
time there is any kind of recruitment, Mr. Lone, to the military or the paramilitary or the police, look at the number of people who come forward.
They have prevented the people of Jammu and Kashmir from getting the benefits of what they deserve.
Try to understand that when there was a Telangana issue, new creation of a statehood, there was a debate for long 2 years. Until yesterday, you are saying in Kashmir that we are bringing more forces, we are just so many advisories were issued. You befooled the nation. You said that there is nothing going to happen. It's only because of the terror threat the forces are brought in Kashmir. And later on, without consulting the stakeholders, violating the basic structure of natural justice, opportunity of being heard. I'm a student of law, but I have every right to raise the certain points which are valid points in my opinion. Rahul, tell me, who arrested the elected Prime Minister of J&K in 1953? He was the elected Prime Minister and his government was dismissed. And Amit Shah ji recently said that it was a blunder committed by the Congress-led government at the center. This is not happening first time. So this will only further strengthen the alienation in Kashmir. And it's not in the national interest. People like me who believe in the idea of India are today defeated.
Okay, let Nalin Kohli respond that this furthers and fuels the alienation.
May I respond?
Of the people of the Kashmir.
Let me start with the contradictions and I'll say it as flat. Let me first start with the first point. As a citizen of India, not of Kashmir, as a citizen of India, he has every right to have a point of view and I respect that even though I may not agree with that. Number one. Number two, in his entire thing, he has said Kashmir, Kashmir, neither the word Jammu nor the word Ladakh. Those are citizens of that state as much as he is. He has no special privileges over them or lesser privileges than them. He has no privileges greater than those Kashmiri Pandits who were removed and who have never been able to come back. He has no greater privileges than those Ladakhis who have for the last 70 years suffered for not getting development and their aspirations as the Kashmiri youth, as tourism, as peace, as development. So my point is, this is the basic fundamental problem which we don't need to articulate. It comes out clearly in the language that we hear. People of Kashmir let down. What is people of Kashmir? There is a people of Jammu and Kashmir, including Ladakh. When the language becomes excluding your own citizens from that entire process, you can't say that you are talking of the correct
from
position.
This side in Kashmir, sir, there is a trauma.
This is a position by which they
But Mr. Lone, once again, it could be the political analysts and pundits who are in shock. The fact is that Kashmir has, Kashmir has the poorest governance record in this country. There is more corruption in the government of Kashmir than there is on any other state. Look at the unemployment levels of Kashmir. What has Article 370 given you, sir?
Mr. Rahul,
look at the amount of money that goes to Jammu and Kashmir. Why are the people feeling the lack of development
there? That is there. But it's a political problem. Till yesterday, government used it to say, come forward. Tell us what you want within the framework of Constitution. I remember the former Prime Minister saying, short of Azadi sky will be the limit within the framework of Constitution.
Those who have used their politics to ensure that terrorism...
So we are saying this was within the framework of Constitution. There will be a backlash. The alienation will be further strengthened. It won't be in the interest,
Mr. Lone.
in the national
if you wish
interest,
to serve the people of Jammu and Kashmir,
but General Sharma,
that this is for the betterment.
Sir, my
you as an
simple
elected
point is why
representative,
Kashmir is under curfew?
Do you not desire greater development for your
Why
the
Kashmir
people
is not celebrating
Do
this?
you not
Why,
wish that they
when
should
the
have more
Eid is
jobs?
nearing,
They should have more
why
economic
we are
prosperity?
put under
There should be peace.
curfew, whole valley?
No, because they're troublemakers who will try and foment trouble. They'll try and get Kashmir to burn. It's a temporary measure. The curfew is not here to stay.
Have been coming up again and again.
Thereby
Darkest
meaning,
hour,
Rahul, you
murder
must
of
get
democracy.
real and be honest.
God save us, we don't know what
Kashmir,
will happen.
Not a,
this
show me a single
contributing
place
to fear.
where this decision is being celebrated or welcomed. Not a single place.
No, but that's also because, once again, General Sharma. Mr. Lone, one second. I'm very, one second.
Just now, 1 minute ago, you said that there is people are not being allowed to go out. On the second side, you're saying, show me people. What is 144? 144 is basically ensuring that you don't have congregations. You will see that too also, Mr. Lone. I'm sure of it. Rest assured, you will see that. As they would celebrate that the greater integration, removing the separatist mindset, getting rid of terrorism, ensuring development goes there, and booting out the people who have prevented all this for 70 years.
No, sir. No, I humbly disagree with you, sir.
Sir, one second. You know, people are not celebrating because there's fear. Because there's fear that the Hurriyat could clamp down, that there could be trouble, that there could be violence. Therefore, I think the next is how soon can we roll out our development process? If people in Kashmir start feeling the visible, tangible benefits of development, do you think perceptions could change?
Absolutely. And you know, see, last 30 years, we've gone through literal hell. The Home Minister was quoting 40,000 odd killed. Was the status quo acceptable to us? This status quo, which is continuing from 89 onwards, is certainly not acceptable. Something had to change, and this was forthcoming. It was already announced in the manifestos that it would come. That it has come in this manner is a separate issue altogether, but it was expected to become. Look at how it was planned, the Panchayat elections. Well, you can say the recruiting is one process. Panchayat election was a successful election. There was no 7% voting in Panchayat election. There were 50% above. Now, crores have gone into, and 3,000 some crores have been cited today, have gone into the panchayats directly for development of the panchayat at rural level, which is accepted by the panchayats, and they are working to the same.
No, so we'll ask Samir Kaul that question because he's been part of the PDP and the NC. Questions about corruption in governance in Kashmir. So we'll continue this because, and I've seen this with my own eyes, the level of corruption in Jammu and Kashmir in the state government is higher than it is. It's not as if other states are washed with milk and they don't have corruption. There's corruption there as well. But the level of corruption is higher. Now Amit Shah is promising more development in 5 years than Kashmir has seen in 70. Could that over time help win hearts and minds in Kashmir?
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.